Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
In this Hebraic year 5780, we're getting ready to go into 5781, about a week or two. Our new year starts during the spring. It's not in September and it's not in January. We basically go by everything that the Word, the Hebrew scrolls that we call the Bible, we go by the Word that He established. And it says something that, understanding that each year has a prophetic utterance, or a prophetic tone to it. This was the year of alignment. This was the year of alignment. In other words, things that were out of order were going to come into order. So, this can we say this? There's correction that's going to take place. The beginning of correction. And in the beginning of this, of correction, as we look at alignment, it's going to correct in order to bring forth the appropriate and relative position. So it's going to be properly aligned. Things that were out of order will come into order. So not only is this, as we enter in the year 5780, it is a time of execution. It's a time to put forth, to carry out, to put into effect the plan. To put in effect a plan of order. Or can we say a course of action? Remember, in this decade, it's going to be these anointings that's going to be very important. The prophetic is going to be major. The Issachar anointing that deals with times and season is going to be vitally important. So we are to be doing the right thing at the right time. It's going to cause us to understand what the Most High is doing. So the Issachar anointing causes us to be in the power of now. The power of now. It causes us to begin to move along with the Most High. Because in the system, the world system that we live in, it's going to always try to take you out of time. You know, the enemy, he wants to change laws and seasons, or laws, and can we say time?
Yeah.
So when the year 5780 came around, somebody say shift. Shift. There was a major shift. So that which was out of alignment is causing us to get in alignment. Those things that were out of order coming into order. So in other words, that which you were working with that was out of order is not going to work anymore. Because in this shift is supernatural. Go ahead on and just say it's spiritual. It's going to be by the Ruach HaKodesh. It's going to be by the Spirit of truth. It's going to be by heaven guiding you. So, the alignment causes an execution, a course of action. That which was planned before the foundation of the world now is being executed. But the major thing that surprised me in this year 5780, but I began to look over my notes, but he said judgment. He said judgment, and I understand judgment was very important because unless he judges it, or we judge, because we also got to judge ourselves, we won't be corrected. So in the correction, it's going to cause us to make those necessary alignments where we become one with heaven, one with him. So judgment is like the ability to make or consider a decision. When we go to the court, it said judgment is rendered to the plaintiff. It's in our favor. So the Most High is doing this. Say it's spiritual.
It's spiritual.
So we have a prophetic anointing. We have the Issachar anointing that deals with the power of now, that deals with times and seasons. So we got to be sensitive to know what he's doing so we can be in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. The sons of Issachar, not only did they know times and seasons, but the Issachar anointing says, I know what to do. I know what to do. I know how to move. I know how to strategize. Because the sons of Issachar got their strategy from the Most High. It didn't come out of their head. It came from him. So in this time, we see the prophetic, the Issachar, but guess what? The apostolic anointing is going to be very important in this hour because it's going to reestablish the foundation.
My God.
There has to be, when we say correction, can we say reset?
Yes.
Reprogrammed? Recalibrate? Reboot? Renew? Refresh all the good stuff, reuse. The apostolic anointing is going to be vitally important because they understand kingdom.
Yeah.
society. We were born in this place called born in sin and shapen in iniquity. So we were just born. We didn't know we were born into a system. That's why he would tell us, okay, renew your mind. Don't be conformed. Somebody said it earlier, don't be conformed to this what? World. But be you what? By the of your mind. So we got caught up just by being born in a system that wasn't our dad's. So we depended on the system instead of depending on the kingdom. So the apostolic is going to go in and bust up a system. And so being Hebrew Israelite, we took on the world system of religion. And it yielded no fruit. He told us not to take on the ways of the heathens. But because we were born into a generational curse, Mama and them and all of them went to church. We followed them. I wasn't raised in church, and I'm glad. Because it was a religious snake that made the word of none effect. And so we became zombies, programmed, hooraying and dancing and doing all of that, but yielding no fruit. Raise your hand. Say there had to be a correction. So the apostolic is going to bring in kingdom principles. They're going to be principles that rules and governs the kingdom. It's going to be about laying a solid foundation, breaking up the old to bring in the new. Somebody told me today, I forgot who it was, that they're, trying to remove the old world system to bring in a new world. Can I say order?
Yes.
And then we have the evangelistic. Evangelism is going to be important. Because many are going to run in because of what they see. It's going to be like terror. They don't know what to do. And I'm listening to MSNBC. I've always listened to the news because for me, I listen to the news so I can see what's going on, so I can compare it to where we are. And some of those people, when you hear them, they are in terror.
Yes.
It's going to be easy for us to evangelize.
Yeah.
Raise your hand. And you're part of it. I don't care who it is. Because the blood won't be on your hand. They can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
But everywhere you go, you ought to say, do you know him? No fear, baby. No fear, son. No fear, daughter. Do you know the King of Glory? He's going to bust through the clouds in a minute. Do you see his hand in the earth?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's moving. Do you see him doing so many different things at the same time?
Yeah.
Some places it's still on fire and they the fire haven't gone out yet. Australia's still burning. You hear about the earthquake? It's in strange places. When this Salt Lake City started having rumbling in the earth. Volcanoes, everything's shaking. What about the locusts? Have you seen so many locusts? At the same time, pestilence? Plagues? The whole world? Who's exempt? We're exempt. But yet, if Israel do not wind up, they shall be numbered with the trains. But this is also the time of the great falling away. This is where you're narrow. I ain't talking about walking. I'm talking about 1 foot in front of the other. It has to be a narrow path. These anointings, the prophetic is going to allow us to hear what the heavens are saying in the midst of chaos, in the midst of confusion, in the midst of deception, in the midst of lies. We're going to hear what the heavens are saying and we're going to move accordingly. He's going to speak to us spirit to spirit. It's not going to be normal. The kingdoms of the world is becoming the kingdoms of our Father. Now, I was telling my son, I said, well, son, would you believe this, that all of this is because of us? He said, Mom, I believe that. I said, we're God's, the Most High's chosen people. For real. At the same time, everything going on, I said, well, maybe it's a distraction. Maybe it is, but it's a whole bunch going on. Oh, it's man-made. Maybe it is, but the Most High allowed it.
Right.
At the same time, 401ks being wiped out. At the same time, jobs are being shh. Businesses are going shh. The market is just raise your hand. Need not be afraid. Need not be afraid. Something happened. 5780 comes around. We understand there's an alignment. He should have been getting you right. So forth. There should have been some adjustments. You should have been drawing closer to the Most High. You should be feeling His presence even more. You should be hating the very appearance of sin. So they say 2020 is 2020 vision. But in the 2020 vision, He's allowing you to see Him, but allowing you to see you. In other words, everything is start raving naked now. Can I say butt naked? Start raving. It's naked. He doesn't hit you no more.
Come on.
See, we played patty cake for a little while. And Daddy said, I see you over there playing. Y'all know how we have children. You see them, you think, I don't see you. of a sudden, there's a suddenly with us parents. You done already planned it out. Next time they do it. I think I see him. But the next time, I got something for him. And just like the Most High told Adam, I told you. It ain't like I didn't tell you. He said, look, I told you everything. You know when we tell our children what we say when they get caught, told you. I told you don't do it no more. Now I gotta do what I gotta do. Let me tell you, I don't want to do this. But if I don't do it, my mother would say, I'm going to get you for the old and the new. And that's what we be like. Stuff have happened, but it's not like he didn't tell us. Let's go to Ezekiel 33 first. Raise your hands for a minute. One of the things that you must understand now, we can't go in the back of mommy and daddy and this every man for himself. For real. You gotta fight for your own salvation right now.
That's right.
With fear and trembling.
That's right.
And walk this narrow path. He's here. Heaven has invaded this space. We can't play with it no more. He done shut down every church house.
Yeah.
One more book.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah. You cut it out.
Did you ever think he was going to continue to allow the lies to go? You think he was going to continue? Oh, stay right there. I got something to show. You got your apocrypha, go to second hand. See, they took the books out because they pointed to us and they pointed to the Messiah. So how books were originally in the Hebrew scrolls of the Bible, and then all of a sudden, when your council get together, they said we need to tweak this a little bit. Now we need to take this out about Judah. We need to take this out about the Messiah. But they forgot he was he. He was in charge. Go to 2nd Ezra 6. something out on Facebook that we all need to read, Second Esdras. It's one of the major books that they took out. They should have never took that book out. Because the books that they took out, we would have been more righteous. We would have been more holy. We would have been more loving to the Most High. We would have honored him and respected him. We would have drew closer. We would have understood how the supernatural worked. Because they took these books out, and they started, your narrator, the narrator controlled it. But there's no honor, no respect, no love, no power. People perishing. You ready? Okay. He says something here, we're going to go to, I'm just going to jump down a little bit. And it's concerning us. So, 1619 is the first slave. People don't believe the whole Hebrew scrolls and this whole word, all these books is about us. But they said we didn't have no history, we had all the history. 1619's first slave came to America. The culture, the purpose, their name, the name of the father, all of that was wiped off. 1619. So 1619, when they came to America and they were enslaved, guess what? It came from the Most High. And it came from him because we were stiff-necked, hard-headed people. And we turned away from the Most High. So he put us in bondage for 400 years. 400 years, he said, after that, I'm going to release you out of this bondage, from under this curse. That happened in 2019. 400 years. 400 year release. Say release. Release. So during this time, Esau, which is Jacob's brother, ruled. And ruled just as he did with his brother. It was evil, vindictive, deceptive. But I don't really like to say Esau, I like to say a system. Thank you. Look what it says. Verse 6. Then I planned these things and they were made through me. And I'm going to go back to 5. And before the present years were reckoned, and before the imagination of those who now sin were estranged, and before those who stored up treasures of faith were sealed, then I planned these things. Remember, he does everything. He let us know the end from the what? Beginning. He calls things that be not as though they were. He tells us things at the end from the beginning. He lets us know everything. That's why we need the Ruach, because in John 14, 15, 16, it talks about, the Ruach, the Holy Spirit, and one of the major responsibilities is to let us know things to come. That's why we need to pray every day, at least 1 hour. In the Holy Ghost, in tongues. Remember, Joel said, in the last days, I'm going to do what? Pour out my spirit on what? All flesh. Yes. Sons and daughters gonna prophesy. Look what it says here. Then I planned these things, and they were made through me and not through another, just as the end shall come through me and not through another. And so Esther said, what will be the dividing of the times? Or when will the end of the first age and the beginning of the age that follows? This is key. He said to me, from Abraham to Isaac, because from him were born Jacob and Esau. For Jacob's hand held Esau's heel from the beginning. For Esau is the end of this age. Y'all hear that? And Jacob is the beginning of the age that follows. We are in Jacob's reign right now. Why do I say that? Because 1619 to 2019, when the first slaves came to America, it's 400 years. So in other words, after the 400 years was up, the Most High, I say, you know, we good, we Hebrew Israelites, so what? You know, what is it? What are you saying, Father, after the 400 years? I mean, we got the t-shirt, we got the hat, we got all of that. He says it's going to be judgment. Then he said, no excuse. Well, what you mean by no excuse? Can't nobody blame no system. They can't say this about the white man. They can't say this was done to them. They can't say nothing. Because now is no excuse. Look, y'all ready? It says, for Esau is the end of the age, and Jacob is the beginning of the age that follows. I'm going to drop down. I want you to take time to read all of this. 18. And it said, behold, the days are coming, and it shall be that when I draw near to visit the inhabitants of the earth, and when I require from the doors of iniquity the penalty of their iniquity, and when the humiliation of Zion is complete. We're called Zion. And when we went through slavery, it was great humiliation. Our men and women were raped right in front of us. They divided the family. They lynched. They killed just because. Towns were burned to the ground just because. Of the color of a person's skin. But they knew who we were. We are the hidden ones. Look what it says here. You ready? So the humiliation of Zion is complete. Well, how do I know that? The 400 years is over. Okay. Stop right there. Let's get another precept. You ready? Let's go to Genesis. And we're going to get to Ezekiel one day. Go to Genesis 15. You there? Go to 13. You ready? 13, you there? And he said to Abram, know certainly that your descendants, mind you, we are in the land of our oppressor. This is the land of captivity. Okay? Listen. That your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, and will serve them, and they will do what? Afflict them. How long? 400 years. Do you see that? And now Abram, he said your descendants. That's a clue. Remind you, the Hebrew scrolls, the word is like it's coded. You have to ask for revelation.
Yes.
He said, the nation whom they serve, I will do what?
Judge.
I didn't hear you.
Judge.
Okay, so after the 400 years, what's going to be the first thing that's going to happen?
Judge.
Woo. After the 400 years, it's going to be what?
Judgment.
There is, of course, what? Correction. There is what? Alignment. Look. And also the nation whom they serve, I will judge. And then somebody say afterwards.
Afterwards.
And afterwards they shall come out with great possession. Some people get it mixed up for when they were in Egypt.
Yeah.
They were in Egypt 430 years.
Yes.
200 and some years they were free until the Pharaoh changed. In 215 years they were in bondage. Egypt was right down the street. Hmm? Yeah. It said land, not what? Yours. So we're not talking about the time they were in Egypt. We're talking about the time 16, 19, 20, 19. Okay. Y'all ready? So then we shall come out with great substance. Okay, go to Acts 7. Let's start with verse 6. You there? But the Most High spoke in this way, that his descendants, okay, go to 5. And the Most High gave him no inheritance in it, not even enough to set his foot on. But even when Abraham had no child, he promised to give it to him for possession and to his descendants after him. But Yah spoke in this way, that his what?
Descendants.
Who was Abraham's descendants?
Us.
Huh?
Us.
Would dwell in a what? Foreign land, and that they would do what? Bring forth what? Bondage and what? Oppress them for how long?
400 years.
Yeah.
And the nations to whom they will be in bondage, I need to read this with me. He will what?
Judge.
My.
Where's judgment? Woo.
In the land.
It's here. You know why it's all over? We were scattered all over.
Yeah.
Right.
They had a whole bunch of stuff to do with it.
Yes.
We don't marvel. We don't start rejoicing. We don't do any of that. We stay low and we pray.
Yeah.
But we know it's his hand, just like during Passover that's coming up. Guess what?
Whoa.
They ran into their houses because they knew judgment was where?
In the
In the
land.
land.
Whoa. Okay, y'all ready? Turn to Jubilees. Jubilees 14. Let's go to verse 13. Yeah. And it came to pass when the sun had set, that an ecstasy fell upon Abram, and lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And it was said unto Abram, know of surety that your seed, who's his seed? Huh? That your seed shall be a stranger. Was Egypt a stranger, a land of that they didn't know about? No, Egypt was just across the street. They were in and out of Egypt. In a foreign land that is what? Not yours. And will bring you to what? Bondage. How long?
400 years.
Okay, let's read 14 together. Y'all ready? Ready to read.
And the nations also.
Y'all need to read that again like y'all know it.
And the nations also to whom they will be in bondage will I judge. And after that they shall come forth again with much substance.
So wait a minute. He's saying the same thing after the 400 years. What's going to happen? It's going to be what? Judgment. Here's another book that took out. Y'all ready? Write it down and look it up. It's called The Ladder, L-A-D-D, of Jacob. The Ladder of Jacob. It's going to be in chapter 5, 1 through 17. Ready? It says, now check this out, y'all. It's everywhere. Ready? Know, Jacob, that your descendants will be strangers in a what? Foreign land. Notice the scribes documented everywhere. That's how the Most High do. Out of the mouth of how many witnesses?
2 or 3.
That what?
Everywhere.
Know, Jacob, that your descendants will be a stranger in a foreign land, and they will be ill-treated and made slaves of and flogged daily. But that people whose slaves they are, y'all will do what? Huh? It says judge. But the people whose slaves they are, Yah will judge, for the mighty one will feel compassion for their sufferings. For the angels and the archangels pour out their prayers before him for the deliverance of your race. He's talking to Jacob. And that the Most High shall have what? Mercy. Then will their women be fruitful. That's what's happening. A lot of women are coming forth like never before. Then their women will be fruitful. And after that, y'all will defend your race with terrifying and mighty signs against those who enslave them. Check this out. There are storehouses. Which were full. Will be found empty. There was a settling of the churches closed. Open one day, closed the next. They will be found empty of wine and every kind of oil or corn. Their land will seethe with reptiles and all kinds of deadly things. And there will be many earthquakes and catastrophes. Then will the Most High execute judgment on that place and deliver your descendants from their their servitude to those people who ruled over them by force. And they will be saved from the reproach of their enemies. Y'all see that? That's all I'm going to say about that one. Y'all need to read it. One more? Can I do one more? I can do about 3 or 4 more. You know why? He wrote it everywhere. He gave it to the scribes. He gave it to the anointed. Guess what? Y'all ready? Wish I have the apocalypse of Abraham. Because if you have the apocalypse of Abraham, it's in there too. Find the apocalypse of Abraham in verse 32, 3-6. Oh, here it is. I have it. Let's go to apocalypse of Abraham. He gave it to everybody. Therefore, hear Abraham and see, behold, your 7th generation shall go with you. And they will go into an alien land. And they will enslave them and oppress them as one of the tempest age. But of the nation whom they shall serve, I am the judge. And Yah said to this, have you heard, Abraham, what I have told you, what your tribe will encounter, and go to key, in the last days.
What was that? Apocalypse of Abraham?
Of Abraham,
Where?
32. See, the key, he said, in the last days. So Abraham, having heard, accepted the words of the Most High in his heart. One more. This is out of the excerpts and epistles, the 12 patriarchs, the Clementine homilies, the Apocrypha, and it's like a synopsis. But because he does indeed foreknew, no, he says to Abraham, thou shalt surely know that thy seed shall be sojourners in a land that is not their own, and they shall enslave them, and shall evil entreat them, and humble them for how many years? 400 years. But the nation to which they shall be in bondage will I judge, and after that they shall come out with much property. So there is something we can look forward to. The last one, I have to. It's like I have to give it to you because it's part of the Clementine's homily, the Apocrypha, and the 12 patriarchs. Mm-hmm. In 2nd Esdras, it says the same thing, verse 22. Don't go to it, but we need to read it. It says, some places shall suddenly appear unsown, and full storehouses shall suddenly be found to be empty. Ezekiel, and this is the last scripture. It's all over. No, 2nd Ezra, still 6, verse 22. Again, the word, this is 33 Ezekiel. Again, the word of Yah came to me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of your people, and say to them, when I bring the sword upon a land, and the people of that land take a man from their territory and make him their watchman, when he sees the sword coming down the land, if he blows the trumpet and warns the people, then whoever hears the sound of the trumpet and does not take warning, if the sword comes and takes him away, his blood shall be on his own hand. He heard the sound of the trumpet but did not take warning. His blood shall be upon himself, but he who takes warning will save his life. But if the watchman sees the sword coming and does not blow the trumpet, and the people are not warned, and the sword comes and take any person from among them, he has taken away his own iniquity. But his blood shall be on the watchman's hand. Raise your hand. Keep your hands raised. I'm going to read this. And Yah came to me, this is Ezekiel 14. Son of man, when a land sins against me by persistent unfaithfulness, I will stretch out my hand against it. I will cut off its supply of bread and famine on it, and I'll cut off man and beast from it. Even if these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they would deliver only themselves by their righteousness. If I cause wild beasts to pass through the land, and they empty it, and they make it so desolate that no man may pass through because of the beast, even though these three men were in it, as I live, says Yah, they would deliver neither sons nor daughter, only they would be delivered, and the land would be desolate. Or if I bring a sword on that land and say, sword, go through the land and cut off the man and beast from it, even though it's these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, as I live, says Yah, they will deliver neither sons nor daughter, but only themselves. If I send a pestilence into that land and pour out my fury on it in blood and cut off from it man and beast, even though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, says Yah, they would neither deliver son or daughter, they would deliver themselves. But thus says Yah, how much more it shall be when I send my four severe judgments on Jerusalem, the sword, the famine, and the wild beast, and the pestilence that cut off man and beast from it. Yet behold, there shall be left in it a remnant who will be brought out, both sons and daughters, and surely they will come out to you, and you will see their ways and their doings. And then you will be comforted concerning the disaster that I have brought upon Jerusalem and all that I have brought into it. And they will comfort you. And when you see their ways and their doings, you shall know that I have done nothing without cause that I have done, says Yah. One more. Psalm 37. Raise your hands up one more time. For Yah knows the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. You shall not be ashamed in the evil time. And in the days of famine, listen, you shall be satisfied. Just raise your hand and just close your eyes and say, I shall be satisfied. I shall be satisfied. This is my time. This is my time. Father, do what you do. Keep me safe. Keep me protected. My trust is in you. You are my refuge. Let's bring him in the room just for a minute. Well, let's stand. It's the Father that's doing this. But we're safe. We are protected. Remember to your identity. Know who you are. Your queen. Know who you are. Your royalty. everything has shifted. Nothing will be the same. Nothing. Nothing. We gonna be okay. Because our trust is in Him. The alignment has to come. The correction. They say, oh, the market, first when the market's over, they say, oh, the market is going through, a correction. Somebody said, it ain't stopped correcting yet. But we're good. In the time the world system crashed, we always blow up. Your trust is in Him. He's your refuge. He can't lie. Israel, don't be afraid. Get to know Daddy in a new way. Trust in Him. You lose nothing. This is a time of flourishing. Be wise. Listen with your spiritual ears. Ask the Father. You can ask Him, okay, Father, what they not saying? And what are you saying? He'll tell you. He'll tell you what to do. In the last days, I shall pour out my ruach, my spirit, my oil on all flesh. Guess what? This is that.
Yes. Yeah.
Pray in the Holy Ghost every day. Jude said you'll be building yourself up in your most holiest faith. If you're not filled with the Ruach, tonight you can get filled with the evidence of speaking in tongues. Today is your day. We will pray for you, with you, so you can receive. Never be ashamed of. This is your time. He said, out of your belly shall flow rivers of living waters. When you feel, you receive power. When you feel, your gifts are activated for real. Because we got some natural gifts already. All of a sudden, you're able to hear what the heavens are saying. A greater understanding. Raise your hand. I anoint you right now that you will get folks filled in the supermarket, in the long lines that's out there, in the washateria. You're going to get them saved. You're going to get them filled with the rock, with the evidence. I release the fire. Shall raise the dead. Say, lay hands on the sick and you'll see them recover. Dr. Pastor Sherry, go touch everybody's hand. With some oil. Come touch their hands with some oil. Receive a fresh wind of the rock.
You gotta finish the work. He said, greater work than these you shall do. To do greater. They will be coming in droves. Let your kingdom come. Let your will be done. I'm not